Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. And welcome back to this series. It's a new series by TR Lab, and it's called That's Not Art. So, NFT NYC is underway, and we want to continue to provide some casual content for the community while they're out there on the streets of New York, learning about more NFT technology and kind of exploring the art galleries around New York and just enjoying their time here. So this series will continue to focus on art that stimulated some strong reactions against it when it was first created, often with really fierce critics saying that's not art. And this is a good reminder, by the way, if you haven't already done so, make sure you include your wallet address in the Cubist Futurist TR Cab channel in the Discord. This is only available during the first live presentation of this video, so don't miss out on future TR cabs and check the Discord schedule for programming. So many artists in the NFT space, they've experienced this feeling that what they're doing is not art. They've felt that it's only with this innovation of NFT technology that they are finding this sense of legitimacy and acceptance in their own peer groups of non-digital or maybe more traditional artists. So in a previous episode, we looked at Impressionism. It's maybe looking at the beginning of the modern art movement. And as we've moved forward in time, we see these styles emerging. One thing we discussed was that while people had started the Impressionist movement with particular styles and aesthetics in mind, quickly individual styles started emerging. And two of these styles were Cubism and Futurism. Now, Cubism was a direct reaction, to Impressionism, and Futurism then was in very many ways a reaction to Cubism. So you'll see a lot of overlapping styles and aesthetics, and maybe even the same points of view, but you still have this kind of reaction of one group thinking, I can do that art better, or maybe that's not art to me, my art is this, and really trying to define these new styles of representing the unnatural in a new way. So I wanted to really present this in a reactionary way myself, but don't worry, I think this should be fun, so bear with me. I noticed recently that many NFT conversations revolve around food, and that food is often an expression of our current society around us. Its tastes, its likes and dislikes, and that throughout our society, around the world even, we often find very different understandings of what food is. Some people probably even yell out when they see something, they say, that's not food. But we know that there's many different ways to understand taste and nutrition, and I think it parallels very well. So our tastes in food will also change in time, and as we get older through life, maybe we'll start to eat certain things that we didn't eat when we were younger. And I think also many artists are also represented in various styles across their life. And as they grow and develop their work over time, they'll want to emulate some artists and then maybe choose not to emulate other artists, or maybe they develop their own unique style. So this is the freedom of an artist to do and to choose. And similarly, I hope that you are all free to eat whatever you please. So today let's look at this Cubism and Futurism movements primarily through food. I wanted to play some short videos about, first of all, the artist that is now credited as the real genesis of the Cubist art movement, French artist by the name of Georges Braque. And then we'll learn a little bit more about the most famous Cubist artist, I think everyone knows, Pablo Picasso. And we'll then have a futurist feast and learn a little bit more about Filippo Tommaso Marinetti. And I'm sorry, I'm butchering that name. But, I think we saw that many critics rejected the styles and techniques that Impressionist artists were exploring. They weren't afraid to be harsh on painters that we now regard as masters, vanguards, these artists who produce works of art that are quintessential to the history of art now, and we couldn't imagine it not existing. We also learned that many who started in the Impressionist style, again, were quick to react themselves and reject the styles that were laid out by, some of these other artists, and they wanted to create new styles of their own and kind of redefine art, as they explored this unnatural or non-realistic manner. Cubism was pioneered by Pablo Picasso and Georges Braque, and it was heavily inspired by the works of Paul Cézanne. Cubist artwork examines objects from all dimensions and deconstructs our typical perception of their appearance. Instead of just having one point of view and seeing an object kind of, in front of us as we would expect to see it, the artist tends to want their audience to see from multiple points of view, or maybe all the points of view all at once. Okay, so let's watch some videos. Keep in mind that these are produced by PBS, and you can find many more online if you search for art history content. I think they are a great resource, so I want to share them with you. And I hope that you enjoy learning about Cubism and Futurism as much as I have. And I'll join you right after the break. Okay.
The interior world of the bourgeois
All right. Well, so that made me really hungry. I think particularly for some fish. That's maybe what I'm thinking about. Maybe gonna have that for lunch today. But that was a really interesting way to learn a little bit more about Picasso and his life. He's clearly not a one-dimensional artist. And when we think of Picasso and most artists, I think we need to consider them from all points of view and all dimensions, much like Cubism, right? We're not seeing just a one-dimensional person and one person who made one piece of art or one style of art. Almost always, I think we'll see that artists grow and change throughout their life, and this is what's really magical about art is that it does tend to capture what's happening in the artist's life, how they're seeing the world around them, and reacting to the world around them, and documenting it for everyone else in a creative way. So, in really deconstructing the realm of art, Cubism has helped to really scramble what we consider our cultural values. Understanding what is good, bad, high versus low, worthy or unworthy, what's a shape and what's some amorphous blob. This idea of quality and what is really genius. Everything together. So futurism, on the other hand, focuses on the future, obviously, often on the emergence of technology and scientific achievement. Again, this is early 20th century, and many things that we take for granted today just simply didn't exist. So Filippo Tommaso Marinetti was an Italian poet, a writer, and the founder of the Futurist movement. One of the seminal works on futurism is known as the Futurist Manifesto, and Marinetti declared that art, in fact, can be nothing but violence, cruelty, and injustice. And I think this is a very different take on uh, maybe what Pablo Picasso was trying to achieve and capture beauty and capture these flavors and these sensations. There's going to still be some of that in futurism, but it has a very different outlook, and as a result, you'll see very different styles start to emerge. So here is now another way to look at futurism through food, and I hope you enjoy it, and I'll join you on the other side.
Throughout history, food has
All right there. Sorry for that little break there, but wow, such a different way to look at futurism. That statement earlier where he said, Marinetti said, art, in fact, can be nothing but violence, cruelty, and injustice. Well, that's really about this optimism that this wonderful narrator Sarah Green was just talking to us about. This freedom of artistic expression and this real look towards the future for new technology, new ways of doing things, new ways of thinking of progress. And it is unfortunate that as futurism began to spread and really take hold, we saw it go to Russia and then even to the US eventually. It was often seen as degenerate art. And does that sound familiar to the current NFT scene? It was forcing this sense of realism and rebellion in what it was portraying. And, that was really inspiring to a lot of people. And unfortunately, many of those people who were inspired turned out to be dictators. And we ended up finding that these dictators who were very inspired and motivated by these futurist, forward-looking artists ended up taking that to an extreme level and end up being the people who really led to the crackdown on these artists, to really target them for as political dissidents and exile them or remove them from society. So this is a very interesting idea, but I do want to focus on this optimism of futurism, and I hope that everyone here can take a little more time to discover some futurists alongside the Cubists, and maybe see where these styles are still alive, where are these ideals still alive, and are we still focused on the optimism and the forward thinking? So I think these are very important questions. We can all answer for ourselves and talk with our friends and family and see what they think. But in general, I hope that you enjoyed this segment. Again, these videos are largely produced by PBS, which is a really important service here in the US. Encourage you to search for more videos, and we'll present more in the future, along with other art historians, some from the TR Lab team, some from outside of our team. But it's an interesting journey that we've started, so hope you can continue with us. Remember, go claim that TR cab. This is the last moment that you'll be able to do it while this video is being presented live to the Discord. So don't miss that opportunity, and we'll see you next time as we continue to explore That's Not Art, and learn what else has been deemed not art, but has actually turned out to be some of the most influential art in all of art history. So thanks again. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you might be. And I'm Ryan, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.